Welcome to Rossman Radio, the podcast where we dive deep into the journeys of entrepreneurs, founders, and e-commerce brands that are breaking through the noise and scaling like never before. I'm Alysse, and Rossman Media is a trend-forward social media agency specializing in going viral and delivering 10x returns for the brands that we work with. Each week, I'll sit down with industry disruptors to talk about the highs, the lows, and the exact strategies that help them grow from their first sale to multi-million-dollar milestones. If you're ready to unlock what it really takes to win on social, build a community, and multiply your revenue, then you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Rossman Radio. This is Alysse, and I'm here with Hannah McGaugh, CMO of Blank Beauty. We have a lot to get into, everything from growing and scaling a very successful tech company turned nail polish gurus. We'll talk about it all and get into it.
Thank you so much. What a fun little overview of our brand.
I mean, it's hard to summarize it in one sentence, Hannah.
Welcome to my challenge every day with the PR team.
Gosh, okay, where do I really want to start? Because I'm so eager. You guys are doing so much. But how did you land here? And also, how did this company that started as a bunch of very smart intellects around a table to be like what it is right now?
Very good questions. I can start with my background. The reason I'm here is because this company is now ready to be a brand. And I'll get into that, but they needed somebody who's a go-to-market expert. And that's really what I've spent the past 10 years of my career doing. Almost all of my career has been focused around consumer brands and either launching them in retail or existing within them to help them scale and get into retail. And when Blank Beauty found me, they had just gotten off the ground as a nail polish brand. I too was wondering, what more is there to this company? How could they have this incredible Series A, which they raised in May, 6.7 million, and an unknown brand to me, somebody who's come from beauty and worked at Sephora, launching household names like Sol de Janeiro, Glow Recipe. I listen to every beauty podcast. How come I had never heard of Blank Beauty? Well, it turns out that for the past 7 to 10 years, depending on when you want to really determine the start date for this company, a couple of people in Tennessee have been working very hard, almost in stealth mode, to develop the first ever microfactory. And a microfactory is essentially a miniature manufacturing process so that liquid cosmetics can be made on demand using just a photo input as a color reference. So I'm happy to explain that if you need more clarity, but the way it plays out in a nail polish brand is you go to blankbeauty.com and say you want to match your prom dress, or you want to capture the color of your cat's eyes, which is a TikTok viral concept that people do on the website. You could take a photo of that color, upload it to our website. You use a little color dropper tool, and we're talking 30 seconds total process. You name your shade, and we mix it to order with our robot-powered microfactory over in Tennessee as soon as that order comes in. We ship it out to you. And what's unique and proprietary about the brand is we're able to match color with such precision that is actually really difficult to do in cosmetics. And there are all these broader applications to this technology, like solving problems for the paint industry, where a lot of paint is mixed in these massive buckets and the color isn't a perfect match. So they have to do all this stuff in the factory and waste a lot of inventory. But really what it means to beauty and what alerted me is that unlike brands, many of which I've been part of, who have to buy into thousands and thousands of units of inventory and then bet on it selling in retail or on their e-com side, we will make inventory to order according to what the customer wants. So that shrinks the supply chain and makes this really, really valuable technology to any beauty brand. So you can think of us more as a patent and IP company, because all of this technology has been getting patents made around it. And now we're just proving concept through nail, because it's cheap to order, so really accessible, low barrier to entry. We can get all these data points. It's something that, people will wear any nail color. I've got silver on, so we're able to flex this color science, AI powered proprietary color science. We're able to produce, we've done about 50,000 shades so far. So there are infinite millions of possibilities. And if we can prove that out, there's a lot of trust around categories like foundation. We can even get into fragrance. Really anything that can be dispensed in a liquid, we can customize according to what the customer wants, which again, there's a whole narrative there of the consumers growing up. They don't want to be shoved an assortment down their throat. They are savvy enough to realize that brands will usually, run all sorts of marketing promos like a mystery box just to sell through inventory because they're stuck. They bet on the wrong product and now it's not selling. Blank really doesn't operate with those rules. So we're chugging along as a fast-growing D2C brand. We do have a partnership with Walmart. So our microfactory looks like a cute pink kiosk and it's sitting in several Walmarts nationwide. And we could scale that partnership if we'd like. But where I really see the future of Blank is Cosmoprof January launching foundation technology. Now we're working in a multi-category beauty space. Now we're being considered a brand that you could plug into another large conglomerate, or, who knows what M&A possibilities are ahead of us. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's all pretty impressive. And you really helped build quite the machine, literally. And I'm curious on the nail side, what you guys are doing to tap into like the viral sensations, like cat eye, like you mentioned.
Oh, I got you. So I'm sure you're aware of the Showgirl album.
Yes.
That broke the internet. Well, it broke our website too. I say this kind of tongue in cheek. Our website actually was totally fine, but it really gave us a backlog. So we ended up sending a couple of emails out to, brand new customers, letting them know, hey, bear with us. We didn't expect such a volume of orders. But this was a perfect example of how we can be trend responsive in ways that brands can't. So yeah. I'm sitting with Epson, our investor team, at the Epson Americas headquarters south of LA. And everybody's seeing this album artwork drop on Instagram of this sparkly orange lock. And because we can create any shade in the world on demand without needing inventory, 1-for-1 dispensing, we sent the idea out to the team in Tennessee who whipped up a shade, programmed the recipe into our machine, and boom, within 5 minutes, I'm not kidding you, I opened in the middle of a meeting, opened up Shopify, listed with a crappy little Canva graphic that I could make that would avoid any legal IP issues, of course, and inspired by Taylor Swift shade. And I came up with a quick, description for it, get the orange sparkle shade that the internet, is breaking over, whatever. We listed it. And I'm not kidding, within minutes, ka-ching, 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 the Shopify. It still blows me up all day, every day. So wow. This shade, we've done thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in this one sparkle orange shade. I ended up releasing a companion SKU too, which was in her mint green. But I guess the point here is other brands responded with mock-ups, right? Little renders of something that has a sparkle orange quality. And all they can do is just chime into a conversation. We can literally create the product. So what we have now that's starting to trend like Taylor Swift is the Pokemon Gotta Catch 'em Fall collection, which is a couple of shades inspired by the characters that we'll release with the, Pokemon is the world's largest franchise. So this IP, while we're not official partners because we're responding pretty quickly here, we do have a bundle to get those characters that are very cutely named after the Pokemon starter characters. And when the game drops on the 16th, we'll likely sponsor a Twitch stream and, work with different gamers who are going to go live wearing the shades. So there's a lot we can do culturally every other week, as things hit the newsfeed.
Yeah. That's, I think, what a lot of brands don't capitalize on, and what we capitalize on with all of our clients.
Yeah,
is you have to tie all of your content into something that's going on currently if you want to go viral.
Really do. There's the evergreen arc,
Yeah, for sure. Evergreen now, though, it's it's hard to, it doesn't convert as much as it used to.
Thanks.
You know, it's a time and place. But when it comes to like TikTok, Instagram, you really have to, and we tell our clients this all the time. You can't just keep selling to people in every post. Like, what value is that going to bring?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I want to be sold to.
Nobody wants to be sold to. And the consumer is totally different than the consumers we were growing up. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm a millennial, pretty squarely a millennial, but I have team that's Gen Z, even Gen Alpha, and they're just so savvy. You really can't pull a fast one. They are going to unfollow so fast. They're going to call you a self-promoter. I think I mentioned to you over email, we've been testing Reddit as an amazing platform that is kind of unsung when it comes to paid media.
Reddit's making a huge comeback right now. I'm telling you, the amount of Reddit inquiries we have gotten in the last like 2 weeks.
Really?
It reminds me of like when video content became a thing, like short form video content.
I started wanting it.
Out of nowhere, everyone wanted video. We need video. Now it's Reddit, and you can do a lot now.
You can, but the point of the savvy consumer, you've got to add value and only value. If you have so much as a little wink to your business, these people will come after you. The Redditor is there for a tight-knit community. The moderators are sharks. You know, I've been flagged a couple of times for responding. I was trying to do a little bit of good organic growth hacking, right? And training my social team to hop on Reddit, join these nail polish communities, which have, by the way, millions of followers. It's crazy the amount of highly engaged consumers you can tackle that are living already, sitting ducks in a niche. So, and not to be too transactional here, but we're all learning about nail polish. A lot of us don't have that background. So we're in Reddit, and, you know, if we compliment somebody's nail manicure, because a lot of these Redditors will just publish their mani of the day, and then it's just a lot of fun chatter. We'll say something like, oh, that's so cool. You were inspired by that particular blue of your favorite logo. Like, if you want it exact, we've got a color tool. Shut down. Self-promotion. So you really, as a brand, trying to operate in a brandless space, you've got to be all about value, unless you're running traditional ads there, which we're doing too. But you kind of have to disguise yourselves through those ads, make them look like real organic posts. And that's a whole challenge. It's
a fancy dance you have to play. And we are very, very almost too intimate with that dance.
Oh, I bet.
I think that one of the things that a lot of brands miss the mark that you're doing a really good job at is just staying on top of what the actual intent is on the internet. And there's so many people that we talk to every single day that just have no clue really what it takes to be successful. It's a lot of money, and if you talk to the wrong person, you can waste a lot of money really fast by people they're like relying on traditional things that worked like 2 months ago or even a year ago that just don't work right now. You need to understand every generation. You need to understand that which people of that generation are actually going to be buying your product. With a product like yours, it's probably everyone. But
which is a challenge in and of itself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Because how do you can't create content that's going to relate to everyone. So then you need to break it down.
Yeah. If your brand's everybody's friend, they're nobody's favorite. Like that's
exactly.
That's the issue. But you're so right. I think people, if they're looking to the marketing that they did last year that was successful, that's too wide of a time frame.
Yeah.
So feeling it, and it's refreshing to hear you guys as a digital agency get that, because I'll even sometimes work with my agency on where is this audience actually at in our funnel. I love thinking about the funnel, and I know it sounds actually pretty 101, but if we're going to put ad spend towards top of funnel, some channels are better for that than others. Same with bottom of the funnel. Like right now, we're pushing a lot of our spend on Pinterest to bottom of the funnel, because if you think about the experience, which is your point, we got to actually think about the intent. If I'm sitting on Pinterest, I'm probably designing my home, shopping Halloween costume inspo, looking for a mani that I could take to my appointment tonight. I'm not like really there to discover a new brand, but if I've seen Blank Beauty 10 times on Instagram and once on Reddit, and so I'm bottom of the funnel, I've gotten touch points, I'm familiar, and I'm, pinning something in my leisure, I might see, oh gosh, a solution to my problem. I'll convert now. So that's why we're focusing on bottom of the funnel with Pinterest, but you could flip it. The advice here, I guess, that I'm trying to reveal is you got to think about things that specifically. And I think too many brands and maybe too many agencies too throw all the spend into a general campaign and they burn cash, wondering what's wrong. And then they change their creative or they change this or that, but they're just not thinking about the user.
No,
it's not hard. Think of it, put yourself in, we're all using these platforms.
yeah,
It's on Pinterest.
not as hard as it looks.
Instagram, you're doom scrolling, right? Like you probably are cool to be distracted by an ad that you can happily bounce off channel and go look at a product page. So top of funnel, baby, like distract these doom scrollers in bed at 11 o'clock at night who find our demo for how to make a nail polish shade interesting. And that's where, you know, we're going to show up as a result.
I mean, well said, completely well said. I think that you definitely have nailed it. And it's almost like you have a background in marketing.
Yeah. Go to market specifically too. Because these
I mean, it's tough. I think that people, and most specifically brands, need to understand that content is the most important part of marketing right now. However, you can spend a lot of money on a great piece of content and it doesn't perform, and then what? You know, it's like brand awareness. Well, everything you do should be brand awareness. It should also be conversion based, and it's not that hard. And like you said, we're all users. And even if you're not all users, this information is easy to find. You can see what people are talking about on every platform just by basic searches. You can see what people are talking. We don't even need AI. You can use AI now and even go further. So it's like you can speed things up. So our team, I will say, that's the very first thing we do. We deliver within the first 10 days of working with anyone is we deliver a full strategy deck. And this dives into like every audience, every research, every piece of information needed. And the reason we do that is it's the most important piece of the foundation. I mean, we need to get aligned on this, and you have to do this research as step one. If we get someone that calls and is like, I need to launch ads by Monday, we're like, we're not the firm for you. You know, we're a team, like we're a collaborator, we're like an incubator. We wanted to definitely work with as many people as we can make a difference with. But at the same time, we really value brands that also value
your strategy.
And strategy. You have to. And you know, it's 2 weeks out of the whole year working together. So it's like, gosh, like I remember 8 years ago, no agencies were doing this. We're just jumping right in. And that's like what worked at the time, you know, and we would kind of make mistakes and alter things. And so when it comes down to brands and in creating your strategy, we love talking and hearing that you value that, because that is obviously why you've been so successful, is because you know what to look for and how to identify things. So before I let you go, what is one piece of advice that you would give maybe like a young marketer that just graduated, they want to work with a brand like yours and be in a position like yours, that's their end goal, CMO of a, you know, emerging tech/beauty brand that has so much opportunity? What is one little habit that you would encourage them to do, maybe every day or every week, to help support that?
Oof. Okay. Since you framed it as young, new, hungry marketers, I added the hungry. They should be
hungry.
And by the way, we're always hiring. So if that's you, HannahMcGaugh.com, 2 H's. I would say, since I have to boil it down into one piece of advice, I'm not going to give them 5. I'm going to sneak 5 into one.
Okay.
It's soft skills. This is what I tell my girls all the time and why they were brought on. Some of which came from internships with me years ago, who are now fast moving through the ranks of marketing. You've got to have great follow through. If you say you're going to do something and then I don't get that tracker with the 20 creator names and rates you promised last week by this date, and I have to follow up, you're making my job harder. Follow through is super important. And there's tons of other examples of that. Taking initiative, so underrated, difficult to find in younger generations now. No offense, guys. But as a millennial, I remember one of my first unpaid internships, I would work my tail off to take on responsibilities, to show up, to do more. Now I'll be paying interns, frankly, really great, more than minimum wage fees to do admin. And sometimes I still have to, you know, urge them to try and take on more responsibility. That's nobody I work with at Blank, but taking initiative and wanting to express other sides of their skill set so that us as leaders can steer them into areas of the business where they can shine and learn more and develop. We can't, you know, X-ray you and figure out where your secret sauce is. You have to come to the table saying, hey, I know I've been doing, let's take content creation as an example. I know I've been doing a lot of content creation. I'm so glad you guys like my reels and TikToks and my ads. But actually, my secret passion is talking about content strategy. I'd really love to work on your marketing calendar. I have so many great campaign ideas. Can I shadow you? Any leader would say, how wonderful of you to come to the table with that idea. Sure, I can make the time. And I'd love to see you move into a more valuable role within the team. So I consider these all to be soft skills. You
Yes.
have to be brave and have integrity and sort of show up. Not to get woo-woo, I'm very spiritual. I feel like there are many meditations nowadays, these guided meditations that, you know, a 20-something could listen to, where it's encouraging you to embody the role that you would have in 10 years. Honestly, if you show up to work in a position, in whatever your dream position is, with that mindset, that comes through in the way you communicate, deliver projects, that is how you will grow fast. That is what I did to grow fast. So.
Wow. I literally feel like you're talking to me, even though like everyone needs those reminders, okay?
We need to work together. Set it up.
Definitely. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for taking the time. We're so impressed with what you're doing.
Oh, I'm so glad that you guys discovered Blank Beauty. It sounds like we could use your services. So I'm super excited to have had this conversation and stay in touch.
Definitely. Thanks, Hannah.
Thank you.